the realm of horror, there is one thing that stands above all in spookiness. More horrifying than it. More terrifying than any monster that is easily merchandised. I have a feeling you know what I'm talking about. Miniature golf. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard me right. Today I'm talking about Gone Golfing, a horror game that takes place on a miniature golf course. Most of it, anyways. Now you might be asking yourself, Mr. Pineapple, sir, why is golf for tots the most horrifying thing? And to that, I'm just gonna let you take a look at this thing from a local mini golf course. I think that speaks for itself, but also because I think a mini golf course is the perfect horror locale. I mean, just imagine being alone on an empty mini golf course with nothing but windmills to keep you company and whatever might be lurking in the shadows. I mean, that's pretty creepy. But I digress. I think it's time we take a trip down to the old haunted putt-putt course. We start out with a text scroll telling us that we've had a terrible day at work, and so we headed out to Cozy Cove Mini Golf to take our minds off the existential dread that only miniature golf can cure. And it looks like as if no one's here either, which is great because the worst thing about mini golf is the line. Just waiting for the family with the kid who can't help but get a hole in 12 will get your blood boiling, let me tell you. I mean, it's like the parents don't train their children in the secrets of hitting a ball into a hole. It's really disappointing to see parents not raise their kids right. Well, anyways, with no one here, we're able to breeze through the first few holes. And by breeze through, I obviously mean stumbling around with the mechanics of the game, which are by no means horrible, but do take a little bit to get used to, especially since you just focus on the ball rather than what's ahead, making it more difficult to aim your shot. But with some time, I was able to completely get the ball into all the holes, which were honestly pretty well designed and felt like actual holes you would find on an actual course, equipped with both water hazards and soul-shattering slopes that you pray won't affect your chances of getting into the hole. Spoiler, they do indeed do just that. But hey, there's this cool well that plays the Wilhelm scream when you drop something into it. And after completing the first set of holes, we then head to the next part of the course, a fish warehouse. Honestly, an untouched goldmine of a genre for golf courses, if you ask me. And after exploring a bit, we discovered the start of hole 4. Unfortunately though, after placing the ball down and preparing for a hole-in-one, this lovely chap decides to whack our hit in with a club. I mean, with all the balls I've hit in my life with a club, I should have guessed that karma would come back to bite me, but I just thought it would come in the form of one of my victims coming to take the revenge on me, and not this giant golf ball sporting limbs and covered in blood, like a golf-themed boogeyman. And so now it's no longer a leisurely game of golf. It's a golf game that decides life and death, which is something I bet you didn't expect to hear in your lifetime, but you're welcome. And so in this stage of the game, we're required to hit the ball into the 2 holes in the factory, all while trying to avoid getting beaten to death with the very tool that causes me pain to use. Because what I didn't mention earlier was that trying to hit the ball when it's next to the wall of the golf path is super finicky, because if you get too close to the wall, you'll be too high off the ground to hit the ball, which is annoying when you have to constantly look over your shoulder for any homicidal golf balls that may be behind you. And did I mention there are also bear traps around that temporarily stop you, and it makes it easier for you to get caught by the golf ball man. But admittedly, I think it's pretty impressive that we're able to step out of it with relative ease. I think our character must have legs made of golf clubs or something. Fortunately though, there are a couple of things that we can use to get around the creepy white dude chasing us. The first thing are these lockers we can hide in that are scattered around the place, which are able to keep us hidden from the golf man, although it doesn't seem to really work if he's seen you beforehand, even if he's far away from you. Like, the dude has like eyes of a hawk. There are slits in the lockers that you can look through, but they're super narrow, meaning that there's not much room to see if he's near you or not. The second thing we have is the radio, which automatically tracks the dude to wherever it's played. It can also be hit with our golf club, allowing to create some distance between us and the danger-attracting sound wave device. A wise man would take advantage of these things in order to get past, but for the most part I rarely used them, instead choosing to run around and hopefully never getting caught, which rarely worked, but eventually I was able to clear hole 4, so there you go. On to hole 5. I was required to locate multiple levers that would allow me to move onto some of the platforms that hang from the ceiling, and after finding the levers I was able to slowly move away from the psycho chasing me. And after hitting the ball into the 5th hole, I was able to gain access to the main office, where I was then required to fetch a 12-eyed fish in order to move on. And after searching a bit for anything fishy, get it, because look, I was able to find his freaky fish and then rush back to hang it on his wall, which opened the door to freedom, fresh air, green grass, and the giant evil golf ball hunted me down again. At this point I feel like I should have gone bowling, but I've already made my bed, time to play golf in it. So yeah, he's still around, and now I have to complete the courses while he's running around causing havoc, which honestly isn't too hard but kinda stressful, as I had no idea when he'd come into the area I was in and beat me again. I did find out that he wasn't able to get past this windmill area though, and although he didn't leave me alone and I eventually had to leave, I had a feeling he was super annoyed, which was super satisfying to me personally. Something I haven't mentioned that I should give the game some credit for is that it saves your progress after each hole you complete, meaning that I didn't have to go through all of the holes in the area without getting caught, which is a super relief. Speaking of completing the holes, I finished holes 6 through 8 and escaped through another portal, this time leading me to, well, what I would call Fishland, a company with giant Cthulhian monsters. Just what I've always dreamed for, honestly. And it seems hole number 9 is unavailable to complete, due to pipes blowing smoke above the hole back, making my attempts to hit it in the hole less than ideal. And so instead of continuing to fail, I decided to check out the collection of doors behind the hole, finding a note that asked me how many eyes were on each side of the fish that I found earlier, which meant I would have to count the doors out to correspond with the correct answer, which I thought was 12. Because unfortunately, I, for some reason, thought it wanted me to answer how many I had in total, which meant I picked the wrong door, leading me to an Alice in Wonderland hedge maze with Golf Ball Boy running after me. It actually took me a few tries before I reread it and figured out that it wanted me to put how many you were on each side, which was super embarrassing. Reading is important, kids. Remember that. And so after finding the correct door, I am led to a collection of 5 islands, one in the middle that I started on, and 4 others located away from each corner. There was also a very hungry fish waiting for me in the water, waiting for its moment to attack me as soon as I put even a toe into fishy territory. And so the only choice I have is to madly dash across the islands in hopes to find some way to escape the beast. Or maybe feed it a little seasoned leg. Only the best gourmet toxic waits for this guy. And he loved it. He's now happily sleeping with the fishes. As all fish do. Okay, I promise I'm out of fish puns. And so, after going to the belly of the beast and invading its privacy, I find the lever that I can use to shut down the 9th hole pipes, meaning I can finally hit the ball into the hole. There are actually many levers to my concern, but I try not to think too much about it. And so it's time to head to the final part of the park, where the fish is back again, and this time with legs. Honestly, I think it may have been the most horrifying thing in the game, but also at the same time, I find it slightly adorable how it wobbles his head at me when I manage to climb onto something that it can't reach. And so now it's time to complete the final holes and make it to the end of this fishy golfing experience, once and for all. I'm sorry, I lied about the fish puns. And with much ball-the-hole frustration and many fishman chases, I nearly reached the end. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out where the valve for this hole was, which was a crucial part to completing it. And so, after a long time of looking for it, I gave up. What I did find, though, are coins that can be picked up, and then, in the distance, I heard the Wilhelm scream. And I remembered. The well. So yeah, apparently there are multiple endings to this game, and the one I got was supposed to be the more cryptic one? Go figure. Turns out by that tossing a coin to the well, you receive a lever in exchange, which you need 2 of if you want to unlock one of the shacks on the course. Only problem with that, though, is that you have to traverse through Golf Ball Man in order to get to the shack, which has been booby-trapped with cans that just fall as you walk by them. Oh yeah, and both Golf Ball Man and Tuna Breath will track you to the ends of the earth if they spot you, rarely letting up unless you're like me and use picnic tables to avoid them. But after many attempts, I was able to place both levers on their spots, flip them, and then rush back to the newly opened shack. And what do we find in there? Golf Ball Man. But this time, he doesn't attack us. Instead, we get some text crawl stating,
"We're off to save you and I, bound in blood, bound in grief. There is no light without darkness. There is no escape."
Yeah, I may have not gotten the good ending. So let's rewind a little bit and find that valve, huh? And luckily, with my super intelligent searching skills, and definitely not watching someone else online find it, I locate the valve and attach that sucker to the hole, despite me having to hide in a corner because this guy would not leave me alone. He just will not leave. At all. But after completing the final hole, I make a mad dash for the entrance and escape the wretched mini golf course, having done 13 holes in total, and it's time to rest. And that was Gone Golfing, an honestly odd mix of horror and golf, done pretty well I must say. It certainly doesn't overstay its welcome, but just in case I did want a little more extra content, there is a little more extra content. Like a Christmas level. Look at the fish, he's all dressed up as a reindeer, it's adorable, how can you not love it? Plus, free meatball. And then there's an escape house level with like 2 new characters, both who have like this terrifying ability to give you diabetes. And then there's fishing. Just fishing. Oh yeah, with a demon fish, that might also be important. But, you know, that's pretty much it. And I think I've had enough of golfing for today. Gone golfing for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, or else you may find a golf ball go through your window, or lurking outside your window. Either way, I'll see you again. Ciao.